Whakalofalai atu, talofa lava. Welcome everybody. Mr Vasau back again, just to share a few more thoughts about how we can better cope with this COVID period, but also just to share some ideas about, as parents, how we can better support our children at home with their learning. So the theme today, I'm going to go from an angle of safe and happy homes and safe communities as well. So what I'm going to do is share a few little stories, and I'm going to do that again in the theme of talanoa. Talanoa is about sharing stories in a safe environment. So in order to do that, I make sure I have to have some love in my story, some warmth in my story, some respect in my story, but also, most importantly, especially in my stories, lots and lots of humour. So I'd like to just make sure that we set that ground at the beginning so that whatever we share today is in a talanoa way. So, safe and happy homes. During the lockdown period, schools have been working really hard with the Ministry of Education to provide some resources and some tools for parents at home to engage in their children's learning. So we've provided some home learning packs, provided some digital devices and internet connection wherever possible. It's important that we provided these tools for you as an option. It isn't the only thing, it's just an option for you to connect with your children at home. I know in my own school, we had a site set up on our website where parents could go to have a look at some possible activities they could do with their children. There was a suggested timetable that they could carry out, and there was a whole lot of ideas and links to other websites that you could go to. But it wasn't the be-all, end-all. And one of the messages we shared really clearly at the start was that parents, all we want you to do is to continue to support your child to grow that love of learning within them. There is so much learning at home that the children can do that you can disguise as learning. Only you will know. Don't tell them that you're going to time how fast they vacuum the floor and say it's a maths lesson, whereas of course you need them to clean the house. So it's important that as parents, you are able to succeed, you're able to achieve goals, you're able to set these. One of the most important parts of a happy home and a safe home during COVID is making sure that you have some routines or some timetables. When you set a routine for yourself, you're in control as an adult. So make sure you include your children. Make sure you include with them what they think, because it's important that when you do say, okay, it's time for maths, it's not your choice, because as children, if ever our parents told us to do something, it was because they did and they told us. But it's important that if you want some buy-in, that your child has also had some input into that decision. We want you to make sure, first and foremost, that you also look after your bubble, and to make sure that the practices you're teaching your children at home about safe practice, about safe coughing, and about sanitizing their hands, keeping social distances out in public, and of course wearing some protective gear like a mask if they need to, is reinforced constantly. Because I know that under level 3, when children have returned to school, there will be these processes put in place to make sure that everybody is safe at school. We've also seen schools set up websites where parents can go and also share, for the parents to share. So if you've got some amazing experiences with your children that you're so proud of that you want to share, by all means do so. Children and people around, and definitely in schools, and teachers love seeing this. And even in my own school, I've really enjoyed seeing the learning at home. It makes you really proud of the parents and the wonderful effort that you put into it. You're not trained teachers, a lot of you, but you've actually stepped up, and I'm so proud of you. One thing this has taught schools is that in future, we need to prepare you for moments like this if this was to ever occur. I'm a firm believer, as is Pacific people as well, that parents are first teachers. And that it's important that parents see that, my child can learn from me in so many ways. And children will. Children are so loyal, and they'll do anything that their parents do, within reason, except my 4-year-old when he's grumpy. But it's important that we give them that opportunity, and we give the parents the strength and the ability and the skills needed to feel that way when they're at home. I'd like to also share with you the importance of staying connected safely with your community and with your family. We've seen a whole lot of Zoom sessions being done at my school where children are coming in and connecting with their school family. They just want to look at each other's faces, hear the stories, share, gossip, laugh, and just connect, and then get some work done. But it's important that you have that opportunity. And so as a community, we need to look out for one another. We also need to make sure that we are creating opportunities where we do this safely. So talking to your neighbour, sharing emails with your family. I know myself, my phone constantly goes beep, 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 constantly, because our family are getting used to using Zoom or using Messenger. You also have to talk to certain family members about protocols. Uncle, when I'm talking, you're not allowed to talk because that's actually quite rude, and then you take over the discussion and then your face comes up. These little things that we can look at and work with, even with our own children, and protocols and safety. So it's important that when we are staying connected with our school, with our students, with our families, that we do that safely and in a way that there are clear guidelines and clear boundaries that we need to adhere to. So, safe and happy homes. Remember, parents, it's not the be-all, end-all. If you have those moments where your child is, "Oh, I don't want to do this," but the timetable says, well, if the timetable says that, you are able to flexibly change that timetable in order that you don't lose control in your homes. We want our kids to come back to school safe. We want our kids to come back to school energized, keen to learn, and that's your job at home, I would say. At Rowandale School, that's how we see our parents. Keep that flame alive in our kids, and we'll have no problems. Whawhataitele lava.